Okay, so let me admit someone is trying to join. Okay, so till yesterday what we have discussed is okay, I will take it. So we have discussed in the regarding the Azure storages till now. So in the Azure storage, what we have discussed is how to create an Azure storage account, creation of storage. We have completed this, and uploading a few blobs and accessing them through SAS tokens. So and having through access keys. So, and then we have discussed on, and the same we have done the assignments on the same. So if you are having any queries on the assignment part also, you can paste in the chat, and as yesterday we have posted it. So once you complete the assignments, you try to post that in the WhatsApp group, so that it will be like motivation for other people to do that. So after completing the containers, this is nothing but containers part. So we have moved to the next topic of table storage. So we have discussed on table storage and how to create the tables creation, and then how to access the tables to the REST APIs like URLs, and then we have discussed the file share part. So how to create a file share. So later on we have done the same assignments on these topics. So if you have any queries in the assignments also, you can ask us. So till now we have discussed the storage account part. These are the few things we have discussed related to the Azure storage. So now, okay. Now today what we'll be going to discuss is related to the queues. So what are the Azure storage queues, and then what is the advantages of them, and how to create the queues, and what is the purpose. So later on, after completing the storage queues, we will discuss on CDN, content delivery network. And then I will explain one flow of how to use the queues in the practical scenarios. So and then after completing that, we will go through the few other aspects of the storage account that are left out. Storage account left out topics, and then we will go through how the monitoring aspects that we are having in the overall storage account level. Here we will call it MDC, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I will take it as monitoring aspects. Okay, coming to the queues part. So as you know, the storage is everything. Every storage type of storage is used for storing the data. So whether you are considering it as a blob, or whether you are considering as a table, whether it is a file share or queues. Queues are also used to store the data. So but what in the name itself, it is like a queue. Queue is nothing but a sequence of few members or data that are arranged in a sequential manner. So I will consider a queue. So in this queue, what happens is the data will be flowing into it. So first the data will be coming here, and then the data will be moving forward. So let's say here it is in let's say here it is the in part. So in inlet, in the sense the data will be coming into the queue from an entry point, and then it will exit through the other entry point. So here in the virtual scenario, it will be like a queue, and then data will be coming inside it, and then the data will be consumed by the respective target systems. So I will give one quick example here. Consider an Tatkal ticket booking. So in the Tatkal ticket, what you are doing is, so first you are I will consider 3 users here. Let's say these are the 3 users who are trying to book a Tatkal ticket app. So I will consider in 3 names. So let's say Sai is booking here, and here Hari is booking, and then let's say Dilip is also booking here the tickets. So what happens is, first might be IRCTC. This is an example purpose I am taking. So let's say IRCT has designed a platform that you are not aware how the Tatkal ticket booking is happening. So let us consider this is the internal application that IRCT is handling. So this is an IRCTC application. So what might be happen? I am giving an example scenario only. So might be after completing your payment. So what happens is, your request will be hitting the IRCTC application here. So and then Hari also will be hitting it, and then Dilip also will be trying to book the ticket. So let us assume these 3 users have completed the payment. So after completing the payment, what happens is, let us consider a queue will be residing inside it. Okay. So let us I have configured one Azure storage queue here. So what in here, this is the Azure storage queue. So Azure storage queue. So I have used IRCT has taken the help of the Azure, and then it has created one Azure storage queue here. So what happens is, at the exit, it has written one function app. Let us consider. You don't need to worry about what is, you don't know about the function app also. Let's say here it is like a piece of code. So small piece of code it has written. So what it has written is function app. So whoever the people has completed the payment, take their input first initially, and then give out the output. I mean, give out the output of the queue to the one of the function app. So in this function app, what happens is, whoever comes first, it will allocate the ticket. So here, what is the code that I have written is ticket allocation here. Ticket allocation. So this is the ticket allocation code that is happening. So let's say for today there are only 2 tickets totally. So there are available tickets, only 2 tickets. So Tatkal can allocate only 2 tickets first here. So what happens is here, first Sai has sent the request, Hari has sent the request, and Dilip has sent the request simultaneously at the same time. So might be due to some network delay or something, Dilip request has been bit late. So what happens is, first Hari request will come into the queue, and then Sai's will come, and then last Dilip will come into the queue. Now first Azure storage queue, how it will process is, the first whoever is coming, it will take those requests initially, and then it will send to the respective target how it was configured. So now what happens is, Sai request will come here, and then it will process to the function app. So here, yeah, first Sai request will come here, and then it will go into the function app. What function app will be doing is, based on the code that we have written, it will allocate the ticket. So Sai ticket will be allocated here. Let's say who are the tickets are allocated is, here Sai ticket will be allocated first, and then Hari ticket will be allocated, because as the payment who has hit the payment gateway first initially, those tickets will be those members will be processed to the Azure storage queue, and then on the other target end, what we have written is, we have attached the storage queue to one of the function app. So what happens is, once the storage queue got the message, immediately it will invoke the function app, and then what is based on the code that was written in the function app, the respective operation will be performed. So the code that we have written here is ticket allocation. So Sai ticket will be allocated first, because it was the first message that was received into the Azure storage queue. So this is the process how in live scenario we can have it. So now how we can create this flow, and I will show you one example here. So before going that, I will navigate to the portal, and I will show you how to create a queue and everything. So let's say I will create one storage account, the same process what we have done in the daily classes. So and one more thing, whoever are working daily, mean whoever are working are doing assignments. Once they have completed their things, delete the resources, because it is a cost effective. So now I am creating my storage here. I have clicked on create option. So I will create one resource group again. Directly I can create resource group here. I will create tech with as RG. RG is nothing but resource group. Then I will give my storage account name. Tech with as STP account. Store. I will keep it as replication as LRS, because I will it is cost effective. Then I'll click on review and create, because advanced networking, data protection, encryption, I did not want those parameters right now. So I will keep all the other parameters as it is, and then I have clicked on the review and create. Now what happens is, when I clicked on review and create, my REST API will be called. It will validate all the things from the Azure side in backend internally, and then it will once the validation is successful, then it will prompt for create button here. So I'm clicking on create button here. So once, as soon as I clicked on create button, my deployment is initiated. So what is happening is, first my resource group is getting created. On the top of it, my storage account is getting created. So let's the storage account get created. Meanwhile, yeah, the deployment is initiating here. So all the things are happening through the REST APIs only. Yeah, the storage account is getting created now. Meanwhile, to show you one demo, what I'll do is I'll create one function parallelly. So you need not to worry of these function apps. We will discuss later when the respective model is coming. So for just for to understand the purpose, because to show you the scenario, what I have tried to show here. So now I will create the I am creating the storage account. Inside it, I have created the storage queue. Now I am creating the function app to show one of the flow to you. So I'll create one function app here. I'll go to the function app and create.
Bono function app means here something like serverless, those things. Could you explain?
Yeah, we will explain deeply inside it because function app is nothing but a small piece of code if you wanted to execute. Okay, I'll explain on a high level because other people might confuse. See, let us consider a Flipkart application. Okay, so in the Flipkart application, what generally will be doing, you will open the Flipkart application, you will choose different products. But out of suppose let's say you have seen 10 products, but you will not buy all the 10 products that you have chosen. So what you will do, you will choose only the let's say one or two products, and you will add those products into your cart. So only those two products after adding to your cart, you will do the checkout. So once you do the checkout, and then finally you will go to the payments page. So now what I'm trying to tell here is, whenever you load the flipkart.com, you need not to load your payment page. When you wanted to load your payment page is when you do a checkout only, then you wanted to load your payment page. Now what I will do is I will take my payment piece of code into a separate function app, and I will keep my payments piece of code into that function app, and I will keep a reside at some place. Now when I will wanted to trigger the payment piece of code is when I do a checkout. So what I will do, once a user click on checkout, I will ask the I will do from the backend to trigger that function app. Then my payment piece of code will be running. Then only my payment piece of code will be executing. So here what you should understand is, all the code should not be running all the time, because if you browse flipkart.com and payment code also is running in the background, it is like a application will be slowed down, you cannot access very fast. So that is why what the all the applications, what they will do is they will split the necessary code, whatever the code is required they will keep in the main application part. The remaining small piece of course they will keeping it as function apps. Whenever there is required only, it will be triggering. You got it, Dilip?
No, I did not understand exactly. Because normally, if you click on buy now only, at that time the payment gateway will be hit. No?
Yeah, payment gateway. I'm telling it an
Yeah,
example.
but
Yeah,
you are telling that say at that time that specific functionality will be loaded.
correct.
Normally also the specific functionality will be loaded. No,
No,
what is the
see,
difference between that?
it will be not loaded. See, payment gateway when it will be loaded. Whenever you click on a checkout option and click on pay now, then only it will be loaded. Okay. See, when if you hit flipkart.com backend, it will not payment piece of code. Okay. See, whenever you browse flipkart.com, see, I'll browse the flipkart.com here. See, I'm going here. Flipkart.com. Okay, if I am browsing the flipkart.com, your payment gateway will be not be loaded now. Okay, whenever you go to the cart and when you buy it and you click on buy now, then only your payment page will be loaded. Okay, so those small piece
It
of
is
code.
normal process only. No,
Sorry.
it is normal process only. No.
Yeah, it is normal procedure. But in Azure, how we can do that advantage is we can put that piece of code in one function app and we can trigger it. Okay, that is how we can take advantage of that. You understand?
Because I did not understand exactly. Because normally, if you want to payment gateway related at
See,
specific
means code in the sense,
specific
let's
goal will
say,
be there.
I'll tell you more. See, if there is any upgrade that you are doing for payment page, okay, then what you will do, you will deploy. You need not to deploy whole application. Just if you deploy your function app code, then only it will sufficient. That upgrade will be happening. So it is like a microservice wave that we are coming up.
Okay,
So
microservices.
uh,
Okay, yeah.
okay, you don't relate completely with microservice, it is a different concept. Okay, but the thing you should understand is, suppose if you wanted to do some code update to your payment page, then you need not to do your code updated completely to your whole application. Just if you do a code update to your payment page, you can deploy that function up separately. Okay, those advantages you will be having. Okay, let's
Okay.
I will So as of now I'm taking some random things here and I will create here. So we will go to our main topic. Actually today we should discuss the queues part. So till now we have created containers and tables and file shares. Now I'm going to the queues here. Okay, I'll click on create here. Function that will be created in the backend meanwhile. So queues. So how what we can do is here, if you click on plus queue here, you can create a new queue. So now I will create like tech with this queue. Okay. So I am creating a new queue here. I click on create. Okay. Then my new queue got created. I am entering into that queue now. So I am now inside my queue what I have created. So what I am doing here is, if I click on add message, so if I wanted to add any message, so what happens is just I can give like I can enter like details like Sahi, age 22, ticket from Vijayawada, something. Just I'll put like Vijayawada to second or something random, and I will put some expiry date. So how many times you must keep this message to expire. If you wanted this message to never to expire, you can click this option. It will not expire at all, and you can choose the days, number of hours, number of minutes, like that. So let I will go with the same flow. Okay, I'll put like message never expires and click on OK. Now what happens is the message got pushed into the queue. So if you go here into the example that we have discussed, so Sai has pushed his message into the queue here, the first message. Then Hari has pushed here and Dilip has pushed here. So three messages got pushed into the queue. So here three messages will be coming here. Now this from here, when you integrate this Azure storage queue to your respective any application or function app anywhere, so those messages will be consumed from this queue to the other third part, I mean the target end, and the respective operation will be performed. So it is like a storage where you are storing your few set of data. So that is the main purpose of queue. So if you wanted to clear the, you can just clear the queue. If you wanted to dequeue a message, means it will dequeue the message. So now let's say, okay, what happened here? So click on create. Okay, let me deployment disabled. Basics technical function. Okay, .NET Windows on-prem, no deployment tags. Really great. So I'm creating a function app to show you one simple flow where we can integrate one Azure storage queue to one of the function app, so that it will be easy. What happened here? Okay, let me do one thing. I'll put this function app to some other location, say central US. If you create. Okay, let my deployment happen, meanwhile function app. So and apart from these storage queues, where what you can do is you can control the access at the storage control level. So let's say if few other party, I mean other third party applications are there, they are consuming your messages directly from this queue. You can directly give that access at this particular queue level. How to give access is, so if you click on this plus add button here, you can give the, I can see the option like add role assignment here. If you click on this add role assignment, so you can select the here what is the type of access that you wanted to grant to that user, whether it is an owner access or contributor access or reader access. So based on that, you will be having the more particular level of access control here. Let's say if we wanted to give relate to queue only, so storage queue data contributor, a storage queue message processor, so where it will allow us to pick or receive and delete the Azure storage queue messages. Where Azure storage queue data center is, it will send only the message, and data reader is only for read access it will be having. So this particular level of data granularity you can achieve with the help of access control. Let's say suppose if I wanted to give storage data contributor, I'll click on that role, and what is to whom I should give, you can click on here plus select members, and you can search the members to whom you should give here. Let's say I will give like for test, give test. I have created one user like test here, so I'm choosing this test user, and then and select this user. So I have selected my user here and I click on review and assign here. So what happens is, so my this user will be added to this only particular queue level. And one of the most important topic is this access control IAM is will be present at every subscription level, resource group level, at every resource level. So at every resource or resource group or subscription level, you can grant access to any person or any applications or any managed entities. So this access control, like, this is the main feature that Azure has given to us. So it will show like test was added as an Azure storage queue data contributor for this queue, particular queue. So this is way how we can add. Okay, now what I will do is I will show you an example of how to integrate one Azure storage queue to your function, and I will push one message to the queue and how it will come here. Let's see here. So this is my one of the function app here I have created just now. So here I will go to the functions. If you are not aware of this also, no need to worry, just you can listen this first time, because you are seeing the functions for the very first time here. So what I'll do is I'll click on here, I'll create one random function. So while creating the function itself, I will choose what is the type of trigger I should be having. So I will go to my paint here. See here what is happening. Once anyone is buying to book a ticket, they will reach the IRCTC gateway. Let's say assume this is a gateway. Then it will push the message based on the first come first serve. So Sai came here first, so he entered the storage queue. So what happens is this storage queue should communicate to the function app. You should have one establishment between these two things. So how you will be establishing is, we have a concept of triggers here. So while creating the function itself, you can choose the trigger. So when I should what function app will think when I should trigger. So that trigger, if you give that, it will work. So I'll show you how I should give the trigger here. So if I click on a new create function, you can search for queue. Here we have option of Azure Queue Storage Trigger. We are working on now currently this Azure Queue Storage. So I will select this option, and if you come down, it will ask you data like what is the queue that you have created and what is the thing. So let's say what we have created the queue is here Tech with us queue. So I will copy this name. I will come to my function app. So I will give here my queue name here, Tech with us queue, and there is no connection between that storage account and function. So we will create a new connection here, and we will select the storage account that we have created. This is nothing but tech with the storage account that we have created just now. I will select here and I will click on create. So what happens is, I am creating a function app and the trigger is Azure storage queue trigger. So that is a simple thing that we have done just now. What we have done is, I will reiterate once again, we have created one function app here. So we have created a function app here, and this function app, what we have done is we have put the trigger as Azure storage queue trigger. So whenever a message is getting pushed into the storage queue trigger, my function app will be triggered. That is simple thing we have done. So here what happens is, my function got created here. So now what I will do here, you can see the integration. If you click on the integration, it will show the diagram, integration diagram, how it has happened. It is automatically done. So if I click on this integration, meanwhile open another window to monitor the log. I'll open this one. Okay, see, if you come to here integration diagram in the function app just we have created, it will show like what is the trigger and what is the function app. So it will show this flow. So this is the input and this is the action that will be performed. There is no output. If you wanted to add any output, you can add here. So I will go to the code and test here. So this is the code, piece of code that is automatically got created from the portal. So when you click on this create function, this code got created. So if you see this code, it is simple C# code. So we are using using system namespace, and here we are using one static method here. What is the static method is publish static void run. Run is the method name, and we are passing the parameters as my queue item. My queue item is nothing but whatever the item that we are pushing into this queue, that item will come here as a trigger, and this will read it. Okay, I'll change this log information. Let's see here. I'll tell like IRCTC booked ticket for suppose let's say Sai or someone who is the I wanted to save. So I will save this. This is the piece of code I have written just now in front of you, and I'm saving this queue. I'm saving this piece of code. So now what I will do is I will go to the function that I have created in the other tab. Same I'm opening again just to monitor the log what is happening. I'll go to the functions here. I'll go to my queue trigger function. Just if you see the monitor, if any invocations has happened successfully, or it will show the statistics what happened from the last 30 days or everything. It will be shown here. So if there are any invocations happened and everything, it will show here. See, this message got pushed. This why it got pushed is because before I have added the Sai message. That is why it came here. I'll show you here. I am clicking on logs. If you click on these logs, what happens is whatever the live log that you are performed here, it will show here. So I'll now what is the flow I have created is I'll show you once again. I'll try one more diagram here. So I have created a first I have created one storage account. This is the storage account I have created. STGACC. This is the storage account I created. In this storage account, what I have done is I have created one storage queue. So in this storage account, I have created one storage queue for you. This is my queue. So and then what I have done, I thought to integrate this queue to one of my function app. So what I have done, I have created one more function app separately in the Azure portal. This is my function app. So in this function app, what I have written a piece of code, just like something IRCTC details will be shown. Whenever I execute, this IRCTC details should come. IRCTC nothing but on log I am logging. Here IRCTC. Now how I have connected is to the trigger. What I have connected, this queue I have connected with to my function app. Okay, let me write that function app also here. This is my function app. This is a simple thing I have done till now in this class. So now what I will do is I will try to push one test message to this queue. Once I push, okay, I will try to push one test message. So from here I will push my test message to this queue. So as soon as I push my test message, then it should come to here function app. This function app should be working. This is my target now. I will do that now. And see, I have connected to my log. If anything I am doing in the trigger, it should work here. Then only it is like connected thing. Okay, now I will go to my tech with SQ. I will try to push one message. Push in the message, I will add one message. So what I am doing is here I will put like Mohidar I have given. Okay, Mohidar ticket. Let's say Mohidar ticket I have given here. So and then I will put like message never expire. Any random data I can give. Now if I click on this OK, what happens is I will go to my pane. See, if I click on OK, I am pushing my message to the queue, and it should immediately consume that message, and it should run this function app. This is my target. So now I'm trying to add this message, and I'm clicking on OK. So here, see, Mohidar ticket came here, and if you keep on refresh this, it should consume by the function app. Okay, let's see whether it is consuming or not. We'll wait for 5 seconds. I think it will take time. I think. See, if anything log is happening, it will log here. So what is the ticket or anything, any information, it will log here. Okay, let's say it is taking time or not. Sometimes it may take some 30 seconds or so like that also to catch the message and publish to the function app. Let's see. So I am trying to show one flow so that it will be understanding for you easily. So see here now it disappeared from here. So what happened is so I have initially pushed my message from to the queue, and it is consumed to the function app. Okay, now if I go to the log here, see IRCTC book ticket for Mohidar, it came here. So what is happening is this is the flow that I have showed in the storage account. In the queue I tried to push the message, and it is consumed by the IRCTC app, and it gave a ticket to Mohidar. So this is the flow how it is happening. So just I tried to show one example here. If any doubts on this, you can ask. Well,
Queue will be called, Manu?
sorry.
From where queues will be called?
Yeah. See, I have integrated right here through the trigger. I have integrated right.
Yeah, from queue I understood you are calling the function app.
Okay.
But regarding queue, where you are calling
Okay.
queue?
Okay. Regarding the queue, right? So how it will be like? we will be having an UI for the application. In the UI application, you will be having some operations like, let's say, see, let's consider IRCTC only. Why to consider for the other things? Okay, I'll show you with IRCTC only. So in the, if you go for IRCTC, you will fill all the details and you click on book button, right? Once you click on the book button, it will send the JSON message to the queue. Okay, you understand?
Okay.
Okay, see, like,
It is
see,
similar to like mails waiting for first priority
some,
because the server is having high load at that time. Who the first messages will be sent?
yeah,
No,
first
similar.
first come first serve. FIFO model it will follow. FIFO,
You like that or
yeah, same FIFO model. FIFO is nothing but first come, first in, first out.
okay?
First in, first out here. This is the FIFO model that is following. Okay, okay. So I'll show you in the UI also. Let's say Mohidar has opened his mobile application and he will enter like Mohidar name, and he will enter the age like 22, and then he will book the ticket from Vijayawada to Secunderabad, and he will, what he will do after completing, he will enter the book button. Once he clicked on the book button, what happens is this, all the things, Mohidar details, age details, and I mean source and destination details, all will convert in form of a one queue message, and that message will push to the storage account here. That storage account immediately will pick up. So whoever he is coming first with the payment is done, it will pick the message and it will allocate in the IRCTC function app. Okay, this is the how the flow will be happening. So now I have tried to push the message from directly from here because I cannot create UI and all the things, right, because we don't have time here.
Okay, okay. If we are not adding queues, it will not be able to handle heavy load. Do you mean to say like that?
See, this is one type of strategy. Okay, see, this Azure storage queue is one type of strategy that we have in Azure. So apart from that, we have service bus queue, SBQ, service bus queue. So service bus queue is the main actually queues that will be used. Okay, so Azure storage queues will be used for some specific purpose, and Azure service bus queue will be used for specific purpose. Based on the architect scenario that here they have chosen, we will go with that. Okay, because there might be several considerations, right? Service bus queue is the widely used in our project. Also, we are using service bus queues only. That will come to the other. We have the, I mean, agenda. There, we are at that point. I will tell you all the things why we are using. As of now, you stick for Azure storage queues only. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, yes, Manoj.
no, just to support your words, like I'll just try to want to reframe this.
Yeah, please.
For example, if any user opens like an IRCTC applications, they will be filling the details and they will be sending a request to the application.
Correct.
Once the payment gets completed, here we can consider like an it will note down the queue details.
Yeah.
Once the payment is done, what will happen is like the status will be getting updated like in transaction yes. If the transaction is yes, then it will call the pass function or like the function. Then it will try to generate the ticket as per the queue, and then it will be displaying the message.
Exactly. Correct. Super much. That is
Just
the
want to
flow.
say that.
Yeah, that is the flow I was trying to explain. So this is how you can do with Azure. This is the one example I tried to show. But in live scenarios, how it will be happening is, there will be one project. In that project, if any user is trying to commit or send any data, so it will have what, it will capture the data and will push to the queue. From queue, it will update to the database. So that is one scenario in the project we have. So it is depends upon the project to project and the scenario to scenario. As IRCT is a common thing, I have explained with that example. Yeah, good, Manoj. That is very good actually. So then I will go to the other topic. So queues, we have the limited here only. This is the function app. This function app, you leave it. If you don't worry about the function app background, what is the code that is there, you leave it. We will cover in the other topics. So now I will go to my storage account back. So the main concepts we have discussed till I mean as of now, that is containers, file share, queues and tables coming to the storage account. Apart from that, few other topics we can discuss is coming to the security and networking. These are all the topics that we can explore. Okay, first I will discuss on redundancy. So redundancy, as we have discussed in the previous class in the AZ900 module, we have different redundancy like LRS, GRS, RAGRS, everything. So LRS is nothing but it will present at only one location. In one location, we will be having 3 copies. Coming to my GRS. So in the live, how it will happen, I'll show you. If I choose this GRS and I click on save button, what happens is my Azure storage account will be created in 2 regions, because geo redundancy storage is nothing but it will replicate in two regions. So if I'll show you here, previously it was in east US only. Now what happened in map, you can see two buttons, east US and west US. So my primary will be in east US and my data will be synced from primary to secondary. This sync will happen automatically. So you see, if you can, and there will be concept of failover. So failover I'll explain, but before that you can read this message. Failure cannot yet be initiated because initial data synchronization from the primary to secondary region is in progress. Because as we have enabled redundancy just now, this sync should happen from primary to secondary. Then failover will happen. So as we are talking about failover, I'll tell you what is failover in 1 minute. I will take only less than 1 minute also. Okay, I'll close all the things now. I'll delete this. Okay. So what is failover is, so here as you can see in the main window, we have two regions like West US and East US. So West US here and East US here. So here what is my primary is, my West US is my primary currently, primary, and my East US is my secondary region. So if any user is there here, let's say here there is one user here. Let's say Manoj is residing here. Manoj is residing here. He is trying to update in storage account. So storage account will be here on. You cannot see at which location it is updating anything. So I'll put my store. This is my storage account. STGCC. Okay. So if a Manoj is sending a request to this storage account, what happens is the request will be going to the storage account and it will store in first primary region. After storing in primary region, the sync will be happening to the East US region. So okay, this is the flow it will happen, and it will be having a minute to minute sync also based on the replication that Azure will be storing. So whenever Manoj is trying to update anything in the storage account, it will update in the first primary region and then it will sync to the second region. So if there is any natural calamity like any any tsunami or other thing, suppose if my West US is down, what happens is immediately my storage account will failover. Failover is nothing but it will switch to the second region automatically. If we wanted to do a, this is the automatically done from the Azure side. If you wanted to do a failover, what is meant by failover is making primary as secondary and secondary as primary. So what happens is here, if you wanted to do a manual failover, sometimes you will be doing the manual failovers. Why we will do the manual failover is to test whether if any disaster is happening, it is like a drill activity we are doing. So what happens is East US we will make like primary, and then West US you will make like secondary. So what happens is it will automatically do a failover from the back end. So this is the failure concept. Failure concept is nothing but making primary region as secondary and secondary region as primary. So and then accessing the data. I mean data should be accessible even though if you do the failover and then switching back to the as usual. So in the both cases it should work. Then only you can say like failure is working fine. So this is the failure concept. Whenever there is an ask in interviews, you can tell this simple. And coming to the other thing, okay. I'll go to the Azure CDN concept. Yeah. First, I'll explain what is the CDN concept. Then I will to show you this scenario here. Okay. First, we'll explain the concept here. Okay, someone is asking. Yeah, failback as well. Correct. Okay, we'll discuss now content delivery network. CDN is nothing but content delivery network. Color. Content delivery network. So okay, how a CDN will be working is, let's say I am sitting in India location here. Okay. So here we will be having a concept of edge servers, point of perceptions, and then origin. Okay, I will draw all the things, then you will be understanding now. So consider this is my origin. I'll put in some other color. Okay, origin here. Okay, so this is my origin. Let's say there are two locations, India and China. here. Please consider this is a China location. I'll put this China, and this is India. India, okay. So if you what is happening is here we have a concept of mainly edge servers, point of perception. This is nothing but point POP will call perception POP, and then we have origin. Okay, see. So each and every location will have its respective edge server. Okay. So I will draw this edge server here. So this is, let us consider this is an India edge server. India edge server. And this is one more thing is China edge server here. China edge server. Okay. So if you, what is happening is if you are trying to upload any blob into the storage account. So what happens is, okay, so if you wanted to upload any blob in the storage account, first it will upload into when you are opting for CDN. This concept will come into the picture. So from India, if you are uploading any blob, it will first you upload into the India edge server. Let's say this is my blob. Okay, I will consider one blob here. Blob. So blob is nothing but, okay, blob only, you can consider this one. So what happens is I'm trying to upload my blob into the storage account. What happens is it will first upload the blob into the nearest edge server, and then it will sync the all the edge servers data into the main origin. So here this sync will happen based on the time frame that that they have set it actually, and then it will sync to the blob here. And then if suppose whatever the blob that I want, that I have, suppose consider this is a blob A, and then consider this is a blob A, and blob A. Okay. So if in India there are two users. Okay. Suppose this is a user 1 and user 2. This is the first user, and then this is the second user. What happens is first user has uploaded blob A. Okay, in India, let us consider this is the location. Okay, and then what happens is here the blob is uploaded to the origin, and then after it will be having a certain time frame. What happens is it will, after that particular time frame, it will sync the data from the origin to the all the nearest edge servers. So what happens is the edge servers and the origin should be having the same amount of data, and then from the China, if suppose one user is trying to access blob A, first it will check in the nearest edge server whether the blob A is present or not. If the blob A is present in the nearest edge server, it is fine, or else it will hit the request directly to the origin, and then it will get the data from the origin, and then it will cache in the edge server, and then it will show to the respective user. Okay, I will show you that diagram. Okay, let us consider this is the user 3. Okay. So first, now user 3 wanted to access the data, so access the blob A. Now blob A is present in the origin only. Now what happens is user 3 will send a request to the first edge server. It will check whether blob A is in the nearest edge server or not. If it is the blob A is not there in the nearest edge server, then will hit the origin. Now here blob A is present in the origin. Now what it will do is it will brings the data from origin to the nearest edge server of the blob A's data. Here blob A will come here, and then it will cache in the edge server, and then it will show to the end user. Now what happens if fourth user is trying to access from China? It will not directly go to the origin because the data is already present in the edge servers. So it will get the data from the edge server. Now let us consider the user 2. So user 2, what he will do, if he wanted to access blob A, then it will directly get the data from the nearest edge server. So this will happen all through the point of perception. Point of perception is nothing but it will check which where is the data is available in the edge servers or in the origin. If it is present in origin, it will bring the data and it will cache in the edge server and it will display to the user. This is the vice versa for all the other regions. So this is the concept of content CDN. I will show you in the live example, then it will be very clear. So here, yeah. See, this is the Azure CDN. In the Azure CDN, if it will, it is asking to create one endpoint. So I will create one endpoint like with this endpoint. So you can choose the, because generally we going standard account here, but here it will be not error because I am trial account. I will go with Microsoft CDN Classic only. So CDN endpoint name. Let's say I will give like with this endpoint. Let's see. Okay, I'll give this endpoint. Let's see whether we have this or not. Okay, we have this. So, and one more thing is Azure CDN, it will mask the main storage account behind it. Okay, so I'm creating this. I'll creating the CDN. This is the content delivery network I'm creating. And the accessing URL also will be changed. I'll show you that one also how it is happening. I'll go to my storage account there that we have created just now. I'll go to my container here. Okay, let this CDN get created meanwhile. What I'll do is I'll create one sample container here. I'll put in some blob and because I need to generate again SAS and everything. So I'll put it as a public only. In the text user container, I'll upload any one sample blob. I'll choose any blob here. Hope you are aware of this process of how to upload a blob and everything, as we discussed in the last classes. I'll choose any, okay, is it 400 blob? I'll open. I'll upload this. Okay, I will take this blob. I'll copy this URL. I'll go to my incognito window. I'll browse this. It will load obviously because it is in the blob read-only mode and it should load. Okay, my blob got loaded now. I will close this tab now. Now what I'll do is my CDN got created or not. Okay, my CDN got created now. This is my endpoint. Now I'll go to here. I'll click on my CDN endpoint. The first advantage it has is the masking. So here endpoint hostname we have, origin hostname we have. So endpoint hostname is nothing but the nearest edge server we are having. This is the edge server here, and the origin is nothing but the exact origin where it is there. So now what I will do is, okay, I will copy this URL. I will go to my paint. So here I will put this. This is my origin URL. So where I have my exact blob. Okay. Now what I have done, I have created a content delivery network. So I will get my nearest edge server URL. So my nearest edge server URL is nothing but my endpoint URL. I'll copy this and I'll show you here as this is my endpoint URL. Okay. So if I browse, if suppose my blob is present in blob A, okay, I should get this data. Okay. Now what I'll do is, okay, I'll go here. I'll copy this URL. I'll take a notepad. Okay. I have pasted my URL. This is my blob URL. Now what I will do, I will paste my nearest edge server URL. This is the endpoint URL with this origin hostname. So I will copy this. Okay. I will change this URL of complete URL with my endpoint URL. So this is the endpoint URL. You can see the difference. So the container name and the blob name is same, but the endpoint URL is saying is changing. So I'll browse this URL now. I'll open my incognito window. So I'll open. I will browse this. See, now I am browsing with my endpoint URL. So I should load the data. So here, wait a second. Loading. Wait a second. AzureStorageQueues. Okay, I think it's not at before creating itself. I have uploaded. Let me upload once again. file. Set 400. Then I'll overwrite the file if it exists. Let me browse this URL. So this is getting loaded. It's taking time to have it sync, I think. So this is nothing but the backend blob to which it is connected. It will show this in the origins, and in the overview, if you change this URL, ideally it should be loaded. It is loading, I think. Like as an endpoint. Yeah, now it is got loaded. So if you can see now the what is the blob that is there in it is coming from the nearest server. So what is the main advantage is the retrieval rate will be very fast, and then you need not to hit the origin each and every time if you are browsing the data. So that is the main advantage of the CDN. And I will go to my storage account. Yeah, other things we already discussed. Okay, coming to the networking part. So you can choose the networking, whether there will be three ways here, whether you can enable any firewall. Suppose if you enable any firewall, you can select what is the particular virtual network you wanted to enable, and you can select the IPs that you want to enable. And here you can select only read-only access to the storage from any network, allow read-only access, like that. You can select all the things and you can limit. And coming to the private endpoints, there is a concept of private endpoint we will discuss later. If you discuss now, it will confuse actually. And you can have the custom domains. So you can, instead of having this tech with us account stmrg, you can choose any domain. Like I wanted to choose my level. So suppose google.com is one domain, like that you can create one domains in separate thing, and then you can map the domain here. So and apart from that, you have the access keys. So access keys is used for connecting your storage account with the Azure Storage Explorer or like that. So here we have one concept of rotation, key rotation. What is the key rotation is? So here, whenever your credentials got exposed, so then what you should do, you will be whenever, suppose if your Facebook password is there, if your basic Facebook password is expired, I mean expired or exposed, or someone is known, what you'll do, you'll just change the password. Instead of changing this, we have here rotation. Just if you click on this, okay, I'll show here rx and something is there. If you click on rotate, what happens is this automatically another key will be regenerated from the Azure storage account side, and then that key will be used for the other purpose. The one thing you should remember is, whenever you are rotating, you should update all the places where you have used this key. Otherwise your connection will not be correct. So that is why this rotation will be there. So
Yeah, but it will be a manual process now, Banu.
yeah, manually. This, see, ideally how you will be doing is, you will store in one anywhere in key vault and one key vault place or one configuration place. So you will call that through the variables only. If you change at that one place, it is fine. It is in the live production mode, you will do like that. Okay, because this is a secret. Ultimately this secret should be hidden in one of the key vault securely. So if you change in that key vault alone, it is enough. Okay.
I understood your point.
Okay, fine. So apart from this, mm, okay, yeah. And shared access signature already we have discussed. And coming to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So this is one important topic where you will have Microsoft Defender Cloud in all the resources. Suppose if you are creating any web app, function app, virtual machines, any resource that you create in Azure, you will be having this concept of Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So what this Microsoft Defender for Cloud will be doing is, it will tell us the suggestions. I mean, it will analyze all the complete resource like storage account, everything, and it will give the suggestions like if any storage account is getting compromised, or if any credential leakage is there, if any update is happening, if you should do anything. So these are all the suggestions it will be doing. So I will try to show whether I can launch this or not. I will try. I'll see. Okay, here. So it will show all these. Suppose if there are any unassigned recommendations, overdue recommendations, these are all the things it will show here. You can just try with this when you are creating. Okay, I'll go back here.
Manu, how will you link it to on premises?
On premises, Microsoft different for cloud for on premises or how?
No. I think we can link this Microsoft Defender for cloud to on premises. No?
On premises, I'm not sure, Dilip. I'll check that
Yeah,
and I'll
we
tell you.
can.
Yeah, I'll
We
check
can.
that and I'll tell you. Okay. Okay, redundancy we have discussed, and this data protection. You can, if you go through all the slides in the blade, you can come to know of all the things. It will be like a simple things when you can go here. Suppose how many days you wanted to keep. If you wanted to delete for the containers, how many days if you need to persist, like that it will come. If there are any logs you should be doing, so you should not as already discussed in the AZ900 module regarding the logs. So no one should delete unless until if a lock is provided on this, no one will have the permission to delete. If you wanted to delete this resource, first they should remove that lock. So like that you will be having the logs. And coming to the monitoring, you will be having the application insights. Application insights is some separate topic where you can log all the information. So it will show the what are the transactions that has happened. See here, you can see all the transactions that we have done till now. So we have done some queue transactions with the storage account, and what is the blob transactions that we have done, some what is the file transactions. These are all the things it will show with the storage account levels. And if you wanted to set any alerts, so if you can set some customized alerts, like if any blobs there are, suppose let's say 1000 blobs is your limit. If 1000 blobs is exceeding, send out me a mail, or you can trigger some alert, or you can send a mail to the action group. Action group is nothing but where you can configure one mail and then you can send it. We will cover all these things in the monitoring aspect. And coming to this below, and you have logs where you can analyze the logs. And here we have that at the bottom you have support request. What is the support request is, if you are having any problem in the storage account and if it was unable to resolve, and if you need any support from the Azure portal side, Azure person, then you can create one support request, and this automatically the support request should be assigned to the Azure support team. So they will come to you with this they will come to with the resolution, like what is the resolution you can do and everything. So before raising that support request itself, it will show some recommended solutions. You can follow this solution, and if you wanted to have the additional details, you can select. I will try to show you once. Okay, my services. Let's say so let's say one function app I wanted to see. What is a function app here? Tech with this function app here. Describe your issue. Let's say function app not working. I can tell like function app not okay. Cannot deploy new JSON function app. If I give here, and it will show like what is the problem type you have. So these are the common problem types you will be having, creating or deleting a function apps. Then if you click on next, what it will show it will show the recommended solutions that you can resolve on your own. So you can pick any of the recommended solution from this and you can try. If still it is not happening, you can still provide the additional details and you click on review and create. We will be having like options like ABC, 3 options. A is the premium, high level type of ticket, B is normal, and C is minimal. So based on the impact, the cost will be there, and then it will be the request and response will be very soon. So this is how you can uh, raise a support request. I think storage account we have covered most probably all the things. If there are any if there is any missing, we will try to cover in the next classes. So try to practice more, and if you are having any queries in the storage account, try to reach us. So most probably tomorrow we'll start with virtual machines. If you are having any queries in this today's class or last 2 or 3 classes, let me know. I'll be available.
Bonu, when we will use CDNs, normally I know in web applications we use for Bootstrap and jQuery related.
CDN you are saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, in generally in the live scenarios, what you'll do is, suppose if there are React files and React bundles. So at the time, what you'll do is you will bundle all your React modules and you will keep it as a bundles, and then through the bundles you will store in the storage accounts. That storage accounts you will have the CDN in front, and backend you will have that storage account blobs. So you will have that UI components mainly. For UI components you will be using the CDN, but because you need to cache all the things first immediately. That is why you will be using that.
I think like when you select the zone type, like for example, US or different type of server. Normally, all main endpoints will be like in US type.
Sorry.
When we type as sorry.
No, Manoj, your voice is slow actually, and background noise is there.
Okay, fine, fine. And this cannot be avoided. As of now, go on.
Okay. So I'll try to explain. See, when you are loading the Flipkart page, let's say I am loading here my Flipkart page. So what happens is your okay, I'm browsing here Flipkart. What the UI components all should be loaded first. So what you're doing is you will paste all your UI related components in the CDN, and then you will store that in the form of a bundles in the storage account. So what happens is UI should be very fast. Then only your application will be loaded soon. That so you will be placing all the UI related into the CDN. You will cache those things, and those cache things only will be appearing on your screen. Okay. So this is mainly used for UI. And coming to this today current assignments.
You mean like JS files, CSS, and
Yeah,
images?
correct.
These
Mainly JS files, CSS, React related files also we will be choosing. We will be storing. Sorry. So
okay.
today what you can do is you can create a queues. Today current assignment is create queue, push sample messages into the queue to queue. If you are fine, create a function app and then test the flow. Create function app, test the flow of messages from queue to function app, and then try to create a CDN creation, and then upload a blob in container and access the blob through CDN, through CDN URL. CDN URL. And the important one is revise storage concepts, and let us know if any queries you have. If you have any queries. So if you are having any queries, let us know. I will paste this in the chat.
Bami, is there any time period like this for rotating the keys? Like that? Could you go there once?
Yeah, we can do that based on
Yeah,
whenever
you
there is a
should.
compromisation happen, you can do that.
No, means for 30 days rotating the keys like that.
No, there will be no such time frame. Where is it actually? Access keys, right? Okay. Yeah, we will not have ideally for that. So based on the type of project, sometimes if there is any they need having any security measures, they can do, or else it is like a based on the project to project. Then there is not a predefined time like you should do in 90 days or 30 days like that.
Yeah, I think there is a stop set rotation. Remember
In
this thing.
sector rotation means if there is any project specific need only, then you can do it like in how many days you wanted to rotate. Let's say I want to do rotation after every 100 days. Then you can keep it this 100 days and you can save this. It will send a reminder to you.
Okay.
See, it will not rotate. Okay, it will give a reminder to you. That's it. You should do that manually only. Okay. So I am done, guys, from my end for today. If you are having any queries, please let me know. Okay, please do the current assignments and reach us if you have any query, guys. Thank you for joining today. We'll meet tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, thank you all. Bye.